Hey guys, I'm back with one of my collectibles. Today I have the Hot Toys Iron Man box art magnet set. These are exact replicas of the Hot Toys box art. Shout out to the 6 Scale Scavengers on Facebook. They have a nice podcast for Hot Toys. Also, they have a Facebook group and a YouTube channel, Scavengers Assemble. We were talking about this in the group and I decided to buy a set. So these are roughly, they're all over the place in price. You can find them anywhere from $85 to $100 for the set, so you're looking at about $10 a piece, and that's a shipped price. So you're looking at about $10 a piece for these. So the first figure we have here, and these are blind packed, but they're not real blind packed. So the first one you have here is the Mark I. This is the original Mark I. Everything is replicated exactly the way it was for the original Hot Toys 1/6 figure. And this figure would have come out around, I think it was maybe 2011, 2012 from Hot Toys. And they replicated everything. They replicated the entire box, the everything you can imagine, including taking a nice high-resolution photo of the actual figure itself. Get this in focus here, and these are all magnets, so you can stick them on your fridge if you want. The flaps are magnetized as well, so it's a really good feeling. And they're all solid. They're not just cardboard. They're all solid. The inner container is actually a solid hunk of something. I don't know what it is, but it's a very solid feeling piece. So here we have the Mark II. This is the die-cast version, the Mark II. And these are in no order, like I said. If you buy a set of these, if you buy a full case of 10, you are guaranteed to get a full set of 10. So that's a good thing. This is truly not really blind bagged. I guess if you had these on a store counter, in Hong Kong, then it would be a blind pack because you'd just be randomly picking one, but as long as you get a full case, you're good to go. So there you go, you've got the Mark II die cast in its styrofoam container, replicated exactly the way it was, with its slip cover, really nice. Put that off to the side. Let's take a look at our next one. And these foil packs actually can be resealed, so you don't have to actually even destroy the foil pack if you want to repackage them back up. And I like the idea that they put that nice formation of cardboard around it, so that way it doesn't just get dinged up. So I think that's a good idea as well. Okay, so here we have the Mark II. And this is the original plastic version. Hot Toys Iron Man originally were all plastic. The die-cast didn't come out until I think around 2015 maybe. That was the first die-cast figure. But yeah, this is these were all plastic Hot Toys figures. And you still paid $250 each for them. Now Hot Toys figures are in the 400 plus range. So here's the Mark II. Really nice. Like I said, all the flaps are magnetic, along with the whole entire box itself. Nice, very strong magnet that you can put on your fridge or anything that's metal. All right, let's take a look at another one here. All right, let's see what we got here. I'll try to speed that up a little bit. Alright, so here looks like another die-cast figure. Looks like the top flap on this one just popped up a little bit. It's got very sticky glue, but all I did is I just pressed it down, and it's been holding ever since. So here is the Mark III die-cast. And this, I think, was the second die-cast figure that they put out. I think War Machine was the first, and then this was the second. The die-cast line didn't start, I believe, until 2015. And you know, all of the writing is readable as well. I mean, you can see, I should say legible. You can see all the writing. So you know, the resolution is very, very high resolution for everything. It's a very, very nice replication. I don't know. I'm at a point in my life where I just want to have everything in miniature size for some reason. And when I saw this set, you know, I was like, hey, this is really interesting. I had all these, or I had most of these Iron Man, at least Iron Man 1 through 7. There's a few in here that I didn't have, which were kind of repainted colors. Here's the Iron Monger. This is really, really neat too. So this is a little bit of a larger size box, but once again, that is how it was in the original 1/6. This Iron Monger was a very large figure compared to the other Iron Man. So they replicated the exact box as well, making it a little bit larger than the rest. So I think that's really great as well that they did that. And it had a slide cover just like this. And there you go. You have you got the Iron Monger figure. This figure had a lot of problems. A lot of cracks were developing in its thigh joints. So that pretty much happened on all of these figures, unfortunately. Just the weight of that upper torso on the inner joints caused some little fracture cracking. So be careful if you're buying that figure on the aftermarket. Alright, so this figure I did not have. This is the blue, this is the die cast of the Mark III. And if I can get it out of the package here. So this is the comic version. This is another die cast figure. Yes, Hot Toys loves to repaint stuff. They're there to make money. Very, very cool finish on this one. It has the nice comic blue. And that's how the figure looked. Like once again, very, very high resolution pictures. I don't know, guys. I mean, I have nostalgia for these boxes. It's crazy. I mean, I used to have the, you know, the Iron Man 1 through 7, you know, sitting up on top of my display. These boxes were all lined up on top of my display. And, I mean, why not? They put so much time and effort into the art of these boxes. Like, I feel it's part of the figure. So here is the Iron Man Mark I version 2.0. So what they did is, a lot of people were having a hard time obtaining the Mark I, so they did release another 2.0 version. So they had some improvements on the 2.0 version that they learned their lesson from the first one. And it was just a little bit more detailed as well. I had this version of the Mark I. I never actually purchased the original Mark I. So this is Mark I 2.0. And this is an awesome figure. This is all plastic, but man, it really looked like metal. The way that they painted this figure, like I said, Hot Toys originally were all plastic. There was no die cast. Die cast didn't start till 2015. All right, let's take a look at another one here. All right, so it looks like this is the Mark III, and this is the original Mark III. This is the plastic version. This was actually kind of a hard figure to get, and it was all plastic. Yeah, the Mark III, a lot of people just were going crazy over getting the Mark III. Just such a nice armor. I think my favorite armor is the Mark V. Unfortunately, the Mark V, they didn't put it in this set. You know, they basically put, I don't know why they chose to put the die cast figures in this set. I would have thought they would have done like the original Marks 1 through 7. Well, yeah, I mean, Mark 7 also showed up. Well, Mark 7 was in the Avengers, so that would be the next set that they want you to buy, but so let's take a look at another figure here. So, so this is a perfect example of Hot Toys making money. So this is the Mark III, and I don't know if you remember. I think it was it the end of Iron Man 2, or maybe it was Iron Man 3. No, it was Iron Man 2, where Tony was in his garage, and the Mark III, he was tearing it apart. So it was hanging from the chains in his garage in his workshop. So I don't know if you remember that, but they actually made this figure. I think this figure was like $225 too, and it's a half of a Mark III. But it was really cool. It came with a lot of stuff. You can see it has its fiber optic cables just kind of hanging there, and the idea was, you would kind of make a little diorama and hang it from the your beams of your diorama to replicate his workshop. So this was there's Hot Toys making money for you with a half of an Iron Man. It's just funny to me, but people were going crazy over this stuff. It's all plastic. There's no die cast for that as well. Now this figure, this was hard to get. This figure was going for around $700 back in, I think it was 2013, 2014. Now here's the Battle Damage version. Special limited edition Battle Damage Iron Man Mark III. So this is the same plastic Iron Man Mark III, but in Battle Damage. And the funny thing is this figure was selling for so much, a lot of people were customizing, no, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but a few people in the forums were actually customizing their Mark III and battle damaging it themselves. But it's never the same. I mean, you want to get the original toy, but it's just funny to think about, kind of what happened back in the day. So this is exactly the way it was. That's the way the art was, and this one doesn't actually open up, but it's really what it was. I mean, I wish they would have made it so it opened up, but it doesn't. It's okay. I mean, they've got the slip cover, they've got the art on the back, and that's the way. That's really the way. The only other thing is it did actually open, and you could obviously take the figure out. So yeah, so I think that's it. I don't think I have any more. I think that's it. The Mark III is it. So we'll go ahead and we'll clean this up and we'll pan over to the whole set. So here you go. Here's all the figures. You've got the Mark I, the original, the Mark II, the Mark III, the Battle Damage Mark III, the Mark I version 2.0, Iron Monger, Mark III, half of Mark III. Then you've got the diecast version of Mark III, diecast version of the comic, and then you have the Mark III, the Mark II War Machine. I think they did a good job. I mean, you can see the boxes are all different sizes. The Ironmonger is larger, and you can see the die-cast boxes are just a hair taller than the original plastic versions, and that's exactly the way they are. They're all, if you were to line up actual 1/6, you would see the same type of variant for the size of the boxes. So I'm happy, guys. I'm happy with the purchase. Like I said, they're $10 a piece. Buy a set if you want the whole set. And that's it. All right, guys. I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.